go about tackling the plague of gun violence in America. But first, I need to tell you why I'm here. I want to tell you about my father, Lester Mosbacher. He was always on time for work. He always arrived exactly at 7:45 in the morning to his business in Chicago. I only wish my father would have been late to work on January 19th, 1999. Instead, he arrived right on time, one day short of his 53rd birthday, and was murdered, killed by a man with a handgun. All he did was drive to work, as he had done for 35 years, and he was stolen. People say victims of gun violence were lost. They weren't lost. They were murdered. Taken from his brothers, his wife, his children, his grandchildren, his first grandson he had met a few months before. I've carried this story with me, this anger, every day for the last 14 years, and I won't stand idly by my father's blood. And when I hear Debbie's story and Stuart's story about the unthinkable losses they've experienced, my anger grows, and so does my commitment. I will not stand by my father's blood or by my neighbor's blood, not in Chicago, not in Newark, not in Newtown, not in America. Since Newtown, and since the debate has been raging about how to save the lives of some of the 30,000 American citizens killed every year by gun violence, I've been talking and strategizing and arguing and researching with an extraordinary assortment of people. Some of you are here today, my colleagues in New Jersey Together. Some of the people we've been talking to are colleagues in the national network of citizens groups that New Jersey Together is a part of, the Industrial Areas Foundation. Just a few weeks ago, I spent time with our organizing partners in Westchester and Chicago, with Westchester United and United Power. And some of the people we've met are new friends, people of faith from across northern New Jersey. We've all been wrestling with the same question. We got a question? What strategies can we use to save some of the 30,000 lives lost every year in the United States to gun violence? We're all determined to obey the mandate given to us by our tradition, by thousands of years of tradition, before guns were even invented, to not stand idly by. But what do? What actions can we take? For months, the national focus has been on one institution, the United States Congress. Now, Congress has a role to play, a critical role. As we'll discuss shortly, many of us have been working hard to try to persuade them to play that role, to not stand idly by. The first action I took, together with clergy colleagues in the weeks after Newtown, was to meet with Congressman Scott Garrett, who represents me and most of my congregants, and we'll hear a little bit more about that later. Now, we'll hear a report in a few minutes that I hope will prove me wrong on this, but I have a question for you. If we're serious about not standing idly by, if I'm determined to not stand idly by my father's blood, by my neighbor's blood, do you think the best strategy really is to just hope for the best from the most dysfunctional institution in America? No. Yeah, I think so. Or just to put it a little more optimistically, don't you think there'll be plenty of work to do by all of us in every sector of society, even after Congress does its job? Yes. Don't you think there'll be work to do? Yes. You bet. What I want to propose, what New Jersey Together is proposing today, is that we can only make a difference on gun violence in America if we engage leaders in every sector and every institution who have the power to make a difference. So who are those people? Who are the people we will let off the hook if we focus exclusively on Congress? Here's a list of 3 people we don't often think about, that we haven't been talking about too much. The CEOs of the companies that manufacture guns. The owners and CEOs of the stores that sell guns. And the mayors and police chiefs and governors and military leaders and federal officials who buy guns in enormous quantities with our taxpayer dollars to outfit our police and our military. And there's one more group, all of us. religious leaders and religious institutions across America with more power than we can imagine. The idea we want to propose today is that we need to create a covenant amongst the leaders of all of these sectors. Our congressional representatives, of course, but these other key leaders as well, these other key players as well. A covenant to not stand idly by, to go beyond the bare minimum that the law requires of us, to be good and accountable citizens who cherish human life above profit, above political affiliation. Now, we have a draft of this covenant that we'll share with you today. It's based on our research and our discussions in New Jersey as well as in other states. It's based on our conversations with mayors and police chiefs and legislators and many others. What we want to do in the next 20 to 30 minutes is to outline that covenant, to outline what we believe are the responsibilities of each of these groups. And then, if we collectively approve this draft and commit our part in moving forward, we're going to go forth together, all of us, and test it out over the next 60 days. I want to ask my colleague and our host today, Father Joseph Harmon, here at Christ Church, to start us out. Thank you all.